What if you could go to your destinations in minutes instead of hours? This would be possible if flying vehicles would be commercially available and not just prototypes. Sounds like wishful thinking, right? But there's one country that's already on the brink of making it a reality. You might think it's the US, or the UK, or even Russia, but nope, it's China. Xi Jinping's government is actively backing what it calls the low-altitude economy. This is a new sector built around aircrafts that operate below 1,000 meters. With its endless appetite for bold tech and jaw-dropping infrastructure, there's no doubt in our minds that China could pull this off. If you visit some of its cities, you'll agree that this gigantic nation is living hundreds of years ahead of us. So, buckle up and join us as we explore the most innovative flying vehicles in this country. These aircrafts will definitely leave even American scientists in awe. EHang EH216-S. Self-driving cars are still a rare sight on today's roads. So imagine what happens when that same idea takes flight. But this vision is pretty much what EHang with the EH216-S is bringing to the table. This electric vertical takeoff and landing, or eVTOL aircraft, is designed to fly without pilot on board. If you just want some short urban hops or sightseeing tours, then this would be the ideal commute. It can accommodate up to 2 passengers and can cover roughly 30 kilometers per flight. To prove its readiness for commercial operations, it received the first type certification and standard airworthiness certificate from China's Civil Aviation Administration. For the first time in history, an autonomous passenger drone has been granted safety and airworthiness certification. To say that this is a massive milestone when it comes to civil aviation history isn't an understatement. This vehicle is already being used for certified demo flights in cities like Guangzhou and Hefei, and is scheduled to launch broader services as part of low-altitude transport networks. They're not limiting this technology to China alone. As a matter of fact, there are already tested flights in 21 countries across 5 continents. The company's planned global expansion is a testimony in their commitment for a better new civil aviation. GAC Gove. Think you've seen it all when it comes to wild flying car concepts. Well, think again. This is the GAC Gove. Its revolutionary design is a leap that merges the practicality of a road vehicle with the boundless freedom of flight. You might dismiss this as nothing but a far-fetched idea dreamed up by over-caffeinated engineers in a brainstorming session. But it's too real. The Gove has not only been built, but has already been tested in the skies. It's essentially a massive drone with a car seamlessly integrated. This is a fully electric vehicle that can detach from its sleek flight pod and function as a regular road car. It's the ultimate 2-in-1 innovation. The flight pod, with its futuristic design, is powered by 12 propellers arranged across 6 axes. These high-speed blades deliver the thrust needed to lift the vehicle and carry it effortlessly through the air. Here's where it gets even more impressive. The single-axis output lift exceeds 1/3 of the maximum takeoff weight. Simply put, this vehicle has been designed to be fail-proof. Even if half of its motors were to fail, the vehicle is still capable of making a controlled, safe landing. What's more, its car chassis is a smart multifunctional hub, acting as both a takeoff and landing platform. It also serves as a mobile charging station. Once your flight is over, simply dock the cabin back onto the chassis and it will start recharging automatically. Meanwhile, you are free to head out and grab a snack. Your flying vehicle will be ready for your next flight. Xpeng Voyager X2. Do you wish to fly through the skies without harming the planet? The Xpeng Voyager X2 makes it possible. With zero carbon dioxide emissions in flight, it's a giant leap toward eco-friendly urban travel. The Xpeng Voyager X2 is a two-seater flying car that takes off vertically and runs fully on electric power. With 8 motors and propellers humming away, the production version is expected to cruise at around 130 kilometers per hour for roughly 35 minutes. Once you've seen this flying through, you'll be amazed with its sleek and futuristic sci-fi vibe. It also comes with top-notch aerodynamics and in-flight efficiency. To keep things light and agile, the entire frame is crafted from carbon fiber, giving it a high-tech, ultra-efficient edge in the skies. This vehicle will be perfect for short-distance city journeys, such as sightseeing and medical transportation. It has already completed public flights and has amassed thousands of pre-orders. As a proof of their readiness to operate, they are planning an IPO listing in Hong Kong. The unit has confidentially submitted an application to issue shares and could seek to go public as early as this year. Tech E20. At first glance, this flying vehicle looks a little confusing, but in the best possible way, it blends 4 tilting propellers that handle thrust and direction with 2 fixed stacks of coaxial lift props, creating a layout that looks unusual yet brilliantly intentional. Thanks to this design, it can rise straight up like a helicopter, then smoothly tilt forward and fly like a plane for quicker, more efficient travel. The gull-wing doors add a sleek, futuristic flourish, making every takeoff and landing feel like a glimpse of what flying will soon become. Safety wasn't taken lightly either. This thing is loaded with backups. If anything goes wrong, surely you'll have Plan B. The company also went all in on quality, built from high-strength composite materials and pushed through intense testing. This aircraft is powerful. The E20's rotor design isn't just for looks. It's tuned for serious aerodynamic performance. Unlike many early prototypes that keep things as basic as possible, this one treats passengers to a genuinely premium cabin. Once you ride it, you'll feel like royalty. It's designed to seat a pilot and 4 passengers, cruising at about 260 kilometers per hour, with a range of roughly 200 kilometers. That's plenty for seamless inner-city hops as well as smooth urban runs. With its speed and extended range, it's not stuck hovering over city blocks. This aircraft is pushing into regional low-altitude travel, bringing China closer to true aerial commuting. Autofly Prosperity One. Well, we say goodbye to helicopters anytime soon. This eVTOL aims to compete head-to-head with helicopter services that might make it obsolete. This craft is also capable of carrying a pilot plus 4 passengers and luggage. It's expected to cruise at around 200 kilometers per hour and a range of about 250 kilometers. It's being seen as more suited for airport shuttles and regional corridors. The company aims to be ready for commercial operation next year. The seriousness of this company in achieving its goal can't be undermined. As a matter of fact, it already made aviation history. In February 2024, it completed the world's first inner-city electric air taxi demonstration flight. The eVTOL aircraft lifted off from Shenzhen and crossed the Pearl River Delta to Zhuhai in just 20 minutes, a journey that normally takes around 3 hours by car. Even more remarkable, the flight crossed open water where the Pearl River meets the sea, marking the first public eVTOL flight to operate on a cross-sea inner-city route. In a single trip, it redefined distance, time, and what everyday travel could soon look like in the skies above southern China. Aerofugia AE200, the largest flown prototype ever in China. This is the title that Aerofugia's AE200 holds. This is a 5 to 6 seat eVTOL designed for zero-emission mobility with a tilt multi-rotor configuration. It has been undergoing full-size flight tests and aims for certification around 2026 to 2028, with a potential of 200-kilometer range and cruise speed near 248 km per hour. It's aimed at both urban air mobility and emergency response roles. Its combination of capacity, speed, and range could make it the first generational competitor to conventional short-haul aircraft for intercity travel. With a range of up to 200 kilometers, it opens the door to a wide variety of missions, from intercity connections and airport shuttles to scenic low-altitude tourism. We can rely on this vehicle. Also, its fully electric propulsion dramatically cuts operating costs compared to helicopters of similar size. This means that this will be far more sustainable for commercial operations. AirRidge Land Aircraft Carrier. When AirRidge set out to design this thing, it feels like the designers decided to have a little fun. Maybe they've got a lot of it. When you look at their end product, you can't help but say, "Wow, that's crazy." No one would blame you. This is their land aircraft carrier. It's a hybrid between ground and flying vehicles. When you want to drive, it behaves like a normal road vehicle. When you want to fly, you release the aircraft module. It unfolds, powers up its electric rotors, and lifts you into the sky. What's more fascinating is that its flying vehicle can operate autonomously or be manually controlled by a joystick. This design is pretty much ingenious, for it solves one of the most basic issues with flying vehicles. Where do you even park the thing? You can park it in a regular parking space. When not in the air, the aircraft folds neatly into a van-like ground unit. You can drive it with a standard driver's license to a scenic location, then charge it on the spot. Even more impressive is that its ground vehicle acts as its own power bank. You can charge the aircraft multiple times, allowing extended flights without relying on specialized infrastructure. If you're thinking this would never make it past the prototype stage, think again. The flying module is already coming off the assembly line at the Guangzhou Wangpu plant. This isn't a one-off experiment anymore. It marks the world's first true mass production line for flying cars and the debut of a modern factory built specifically to produce them at an industrial scale. The future has officially entered production mode. In the end, China has once again shown that it's far more than the copycat image often projected by Western media. Rather, they're at the forefront of producing technologies that once again will redefine the history of humanity. But which of these flying vehicles are you most excited about? We think that you'll love this next video. As always, see you in the next one.